to Showbiz Connect. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so excited to be there. I recognize some faces. This is so wonderful. Every month, we bring you industry professionals to help you build a real career in film, television, and voice. And this is our 18th Zoomcast, and today's theme is self-tapes. And our guest is an amazing veteran casting director from Montreal. Rosina Bucci is a Montreal-based casting director and co-founder of Elite Casting, one of Canada's premier casting agencies. With over 40 years of experience in film, television, commercials, theater, she has worked with acclaimed directors such as Tony Scott, Frank Oz, David Mamet, and Paul Schrader. Her credits is so long, but it includes major productions like The Score, The Sum of All Fears, Bon Cop, Bad Cop, and Karate Kid Legends, and Transformers: Rise of the Beast. She was born in Italy and raised in Montreal. Rosina brings rich artistic background in theater, music, and visual arts. You'll see that later on. It's making her a very distinctive voice in the industry. And I want to welcome the veteran casting director, Rosina Bucci. Welcome, Rosina. We're gonna ask you to unmute, and there you are. Yes, just open your microphone. There we go.
Hello. Hi, Hélène. Nice to be here.
Thank you so much for being there. It's so good to see you. I love you. Everybody loves you.
Everybody loves you too.
Oh my goodness. I mean, you've worked on so many projects. It's just been incredible. And I think I know you for since the 90s. At the time, yeah, you were casting Largo Winch, November, The Hunger, Isn't She Great? Right?
Yes.
Jules Verne, The Art of War.
Mm-hmm.
Even 15 Love.
Yes. And theater. A lot of people don't realize that, but my original foray into this business was through theater. So I produced dinner theater for 3 or 4 years with my two partners, Nadia and Vera, and subsequently went on to cast the Les Miserables, big Broadway production that was done in Montreal. In English and in French. So that was the world premiere of the French version of Les Miserables as we know it, which incidentally, there is a production going on right now at Théâtre Saint-Denis, which is not exactly the same. It's not a remount of the same production, but I hear it's wonderful. I also cast the French world premiere of Chicago, the big musical. So yeah,
wow.
That's another aspect of my casting. And of course, lots of film and television, both in Montreal and in Toronto. As you know, I spent a number of years in Toronto back in the 90s, mid-90s or so, till about 2000, and then decided to come back to Montreal. Love it here.
Yes, it's been quite something because you were working with, we call them the sisters, right?
Yes.
There was the three of you working together. So they were mainly in Montreal, and you were doing the other castings in Toronto. And
yes, well, we started in Montreal, and at one point I branched out to Toronto because, you know, business goes up, down, and sideways. And at the time, it was pretty dismal in Montreal in terms of work opportunities. So we decided to branch out to Toronto. And then, of course, it picked up here, and it's a roller coaster in the business everywhere. It highs and its lows. And right now, I think it's pretty quiet in the city, from what I understand, for film and television.
but it wasn't quiet for you lately because you just finished casting the film Karate Kid, correct?
Yeah, but you know, that dates a little bit too, right? Like in this business, 3 months is a long time ago.
I know.
Yeah. And TV series, those are nice projects too. Feature films, it's intense and it's shorter. Series rather is intense in spurts, and goes on for a longer period of time. So it's both of them are nice and both are enjoyable to work
Yes,
on.
you're right. They're all different in their own style. Is there one you prefer more, like musicals, other than film, or is it like this is my number one, number two, number three?
What do I prefer? You say?
Yeah.
Uh, it's nice to have a variety. Nice to have a variety of things. What I do enjoy the most, actually, though, is auteur films, where it's working hand in hand with the director, who is often also the writer, and it's more intimate and it's more direct. So there are fewer decision makers involved, and you can become you have a lot more creative freedom than on larger projects that, a lot of people are answering to a lot of people. And I like those as well, but it's just the auteur independent films, you just give a lot more satisfaction because we get to cast all the roles from the leads to the smallest parts. And so there's a nice feeling of satisfaction once the work is done.
Yes, because you get the chance to really work directly with the creatives as well. So
Yes, and also to cast all the roles. In some major productions, they come attached with stars. And so it's a different kind of work, and you have to be flexible and adapt to the task at hand, so to speak.
totally, definitely. And there's a couple of people that are kind of starting in the business as well, probably listening. And I'm just wondering, in a short, how you can explain the process of the casting director. Let's say when you were casting a Karate Kid or another film, what is the process for people eventually to get booked on a set? To
The
get to the finish line, to get everything cast for your ensemble.
the general my work, let's say, is starting out putting out breakdowns where we describe exactly what we're looking for. And each project is different. And you have to understand, I have to understand what it is I'm looking for and relay that in the breakdown. Then I get submissions from those we request, who we would like to see. And then from those, we pare it down to the ones that fit the vision the most. It used to be in-person auditions back when, so we would request and we would hold casting sessions. And then from there would be, callbacks and so on. Whereas now we request self-tapes. So we gather all those up, look at them, and that's quite a lot of time to do that. And sift through them and narrow it down to the people that are the closest to meet what it is that we're looking for. Often there will be callbacks, occasionally not, depending on the role. And then from there, the offers. And what I do want to voice in terms of, as an actor, going in to audition, however, in person, on tape, whatever it is, the audition itself is an opportunity. It's the opportunity. As an actor, the goal should be to get as many auditions as you can. It's part of the process of being an actor. So if you're getting auditions already, you're doing good. You're doing really good. If you don't get the role, I mean, it's normal that you are not going to get every role you audition for, because for every role we audition, we see tons of people, and it's not a reflection on or a judgment of your ability as an actor. The reason you were requested is because you are an actor, and we trust that you are a good actor. And if you're not chosen, it's because you aren't what we needed for that particular role. But the fact that you're in the mix should be validation already that you are a professional actor going in for auditions. And it's very tricky, you know. It's you've got to choose, you know. It's a puzzle. It's like a blank canvas, and we have to, you know, put in the various faces and talent that will best fulfill the need of that character, and also in conjunction with the other roles that are cast. So if one piece is removed, like you could be one of 3 people being considered for a really nice role. And then depending on who gets cast in this other role, well, that could eliminate you. Not because of your talent, but because, you know, you either don't complement each other or, you know, physical or, you know, for whatever number of reasons, all the pieces have to fit together and complement each other. And that's, you know, that's the work of trying to cast something and make it a good piece of art, basically. So actors who are auditioning, they should be pretty proud of themselves. It's terrible, we won't ask you back.
No, well, you know how to put a canvas together, that's for sure, and to put an ensemble together, ensemble cast. And that's why you like working from the beginning to the end of a whole project,
Yes, yes.
to put it all together, and kudos to you. But what platform do you use to send out your breakdowns? Some people would like, is it one or several? And some direct to agents, maybe?
Everything I need to do to get it out there. I use the casting workbook a lot. And in Montreal, it's, you know, it works very well for me. I know people also use breakdown service in some other parts of Canada and in the States. Depending what I'm looking for, I will put it on social media if necessary. I will reach out to agents directly if I haven't heard back from them. You know, through the grapevine of my contacts or people out there, as I say, depending on what I'm looking for. So, for example, in the Karate Kid, we were looking for a lot of Asian kids, you know, young performers, and you can't just put out a breakdown because young kids also don't necessarily have an agent. So we go out to the different communities and we go out to the places where we're likely to maybe find children that are or have an interest, however form of interest in the arts. So be it dance schools or, you know, art camps, you go out there and do what you need to do.
Yeah, the different schools, for sure. They're out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank God the social media, it goes faster for referencing people.
Yes, and we found even for the series Plan there were a lot of roles. There were 6 episodes for the season, but each episode had a lot of smaller roles, like lots of them. And because of the storyline itself, there were flashbacks. So you have a family, and then you have them, you know, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You have them as children, you have them as teenagers. So you have to find not so much lookalikes, like, oh, they could, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, absolutely lookalikes. It's not like they could be related, but that they have to have been that person at an older age. So, yeah, then you blast it out there for, you know, any way you can. And we found kids who had never done anything before, but you know, at 5, 6 years old, how much experience can you have, right? So you take a chance with them, you have to, and be fine. So as I said, it all depends what it is that we're looking for. If I'm looking for a lead, a mainstream character that doesn't have any particularities, you know, out of the ordinary. So we're not looking for, I don't know, somebody with either some form of disability or something that's, or a skill that's unusual. I'm not going to put those out on social media because we're then looking for solid, experienced actors, and there are lots of them out there. But as soon as you're going into something that's a little bit out of the ordinary, then you do open it up because you never know.
Yeah. You gotta look everywhere, gotta give tentacles everywhere, and somebody will know somebody, right? So you gotta keep looking and looking. We're gonna dive even more into the self-tapes, and I know some of the questions of the people I think they want to ask. So how many self-tapes do you get per role on an average for speaking parts?
That's hard. You know,
It depends, I know.
it all depends. And you know what? Just a little aside here. Self-tapes have been maligned, and I hear a lot of grumbling about self-tapes, and I hear a lot of, people wishing for the good old days when there were in-house, in-person, in-room auditions. I know those good old days were like 6 years ago. I mean, I remember the exact day when it stopped. I was in-person casting session, and when I came out of the session and listened to the news, everything was closed down, and from that point on, there were no more in-person auditions. So that was 6 years ago. In about 5 or 6 years, these are going to be the good old days. So look at what it is that we're doing now and look at it as an opportunity, and that's the way things are. And over the years, things change, things fluctuate. 6 years ago, I knew about Zoom, and here we are doing this on Zoom. We've never really done this prior. I mean, it was unheard of. So things change, things fluctuate, and self-tapes is here to stay as a form of audition. What is happening is that there's maybe a bit of a hybrid. So it'll be self-tapes, it'll be Zoom auditions, it'll be some callbacks. So it's a blend of things. The big advantage to self-tapes is, from my perspective as a casting director, I get to see way more people. And that's also an advantage to actors who, if we were only doing in-house, in-person auditions, there's only so much time. And there are only so many spots that we can fill. So, the deadlines don't change. So it's not that somebody is pushing their start date because we don't have enough time to see people. So we see fewer people in person. On self-tapes, we can open it up and see more people. And I love that because it's always been my experience that you look at photos, resumes, and you look at demo reels for people who have them, and it'll show you something. It'll show you what they've done. It'll show you this, that, and the other. The ones who don't have that, you have no way of comparing them. And if you eliminate them, then you're always going to work with the same, group of people that keep working only because they keep working. Well, not only because they keep working, they're working because they have skills, but you don't open it up. And I've had great success bringing in what I call the dark horse, where you see somebody and there's something about them that's intriguing. They don't have the resume, and you wonder why. And then they're wonderful. Case in point, in Plan B, the young female lead who played the daughter, when I looked at her resume, and this was not that long ago, I looked at her resume, she had just a couple of things. And she wasn't a union member, and she had some training, but it was like two things. And I asked for her anyway, because it was an age range where, younger, like 18, to 18, and a whole bunch of other requirements. So I said, let's try that. She was fantastic. And I asked her anything. I said, has she been doing like a lot of theater touring? Maybe she's been working, in theater and community, whatever. She says, no, she hasn't. She's just been training, but she didn't have professional experience. And she's the one who got cast. She was wonderful. So you have that opening to see more people. So that's one big advantage. And for actors, that should be a big advantage too, because you might not make it to be seen, simply because many, at one point you have 20 really fantastic people, but you cannot fit them in. You have to only see 6, so you lose out. Also, when we put out a breakdown, you will get tons of submissions, and then tons of self-tapes. So you ask how many, it could vary from, I'll only get maybe 5 or 10, or I'll get 375 or 585.
It really depends.
It really depends on what I'm looking for and, what the reach is. So it's a lot of work, but at the same time, it's quicker to view 20 self-tapes than it is to audition 20 people.
No kidding.
20 people, it's at minimum you have to give them 10 minutes each. So multiply that. And if the audition itself, once it's taped, the scene is maybe a minute and a half. Right away, I've got maybe 5 or 6 times as much time to see many more people with my viewing time.
And you watch all the tapes. I know that, right?
Yes. So I think the actor should focus on their craft, on their training. I think that's an ongoing thing. That is not something that you say, okay, I've got my diploma from XYZ, university or whatever, and I'm done. It doesn't go up on your wall and you're done. It's a living, that living skill. It's a living, breathing form of art, and you have to hone it constantly every day. And I compare that to being an athlete. Athletes, it depends what you want to do. If this is just a pastime for you, that's it. Just like somebody who's a casual jogger, or who maybe wants to do, a half marathon once in a while and they train for that. But if somebody is aiming for A-list Olympics, let's say Olympics, if you're in sports, Academy Award, or, that level, you've got to train all the time. You've got to keep yourself really honed. And so your auditions as part of that training, but you need to prepare for them. So what do we look for? I get asked that a lot. Like, so what do you look for? What?
Yeah, those first 10 seconds also. What is,
It's when the person comes on, the actor has to have an inner life. The character that I'm seeing in front of me has to have an inner life, has to be believable. And what is believable is having an inner life. The camera will pick up your thoughts. If you're not thinking anything, you're going to get blank. And if you're just reciting words and there's no inner process, no thinking inside, you're just going to get blank with like a blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
So if you're giving your character an inner life, and there's a thought process. We see it. The camera picks that up. There was a reportage on an AI, the AI actress that's out now in the States, that is
Oh,
movie with an AI created actress. And one of the comments that was made, saying that, okay, the AI actress, they've got it to a certain level, but it's not perfect because the eyes, there's nothing going on behind the eyes, you know? So that's first and foremost. You have to be able to make us believe in that character, that it's not an actor just spewing out words. It's not a talking head. It's a real person living that situation, whatever that situation is in the scene that you have, whatever it is. And the smaller the role, the harder it is. And acting is also no dialogue. That there are scenes when there is absolutely no dialogue, and it's just facial expression, just the face, the emotion. But we don't want to see it, applied to the face. We want to see it being lived from internally.
authenticity, credibility,
Absolutely,
through
absolutely.
the eyes,
Yeah.
soul.
Yes.
Mhm. Absolutely. And also, I know in a self day, when I talk about, sometimes it starts with a slate, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about that quickly. A slate, guys, for people who don't know, it's basically a presentation of your name, height, agent, or any other information needed by the casting director. So, Rosina, what makes a slate good versus awkward or forgettable? And should actor do it before their scene, at the end, or even a separate take, or not slate at all? How important is it?
You know, uh, read the instructions because
Thank
different,
you.
yes, read the instructions because different casting people, different projects, different will have different requirements and different instructions. So please, please, please read the instructions and follow them. Uh, that's the best advice I can give you. Uh, Typically, uh, the slate would be uh, at the end of your scene. It could be attached to your scene, but just at the very end, when you're finished, you just slate yourself. Um, and if you're doing 2 takes, we always ask that they be posted separately. So, take 1, cut, finished, take 2, cut, finished. Uh, and that is usually indicated. So they will tell you what they need for your slate, height, uh, name, agent. Uh,
Facial beard to be cut.
if a man has a beard and you can mention the beard is optional or the beard is not optional, okay, uh, that sort of thing. And the slate is where we see you, not the character. And when we see you, it shouldn't be awkward. So feel like let your personality come through and you identify yourself. Um, Other instructions that I know sometimes are not, don't seem important, but they are. Uh, Never, ever, ever send in more than 2 takes of a scene. Often we will ask for 2 takes, but do not send 3, 4, 5, or 6. And I'm not exaggerating because we've seen that.
I
Uh,
bet.
and Also respect the timeline. So if there is a deadline, please post by X date. Do respect that. Um, and and then once you've done it and posted it, you're done and you shouldn't worry about it. When I can compare it a little bit, if people apply for other types of work, people who do job applications, example. It's not exactly the same thing, but I can compare it to that. So you fill out a job application, you know that this company is looking for something that you're skilled for, and you get an application form, you fill it out, and you send it. And you may never hear from them. You let it go. And what do? You apply to 5, 6, 7, however many places that you feel qualified for. When you hear back from them, that's when they say, oh, we would like to give you an interview. You still don't have the job, but you're now going in for a job interview. Well,
Yep,
boom, that's your callback.
that's right.
Sent your self-tape, you don't hear, you don't hear. You get a call back, you hear, saying, are you available? Are you this? Are you that? We want to see you, or whatever it is they do. That's the callback, is your job interview. And, eventually you'll either get the job or not. And if you've done callbacks, at that point you can expect to hear back some feedback to say that was, really wonderful, but we're sorry it didn't work for whatever. Okay. And you don't need much of an explanation. It's just, for whatever reason, they saw 2 or 3 people and you're not the one that ended up getting the job. But there you can expect to hear back. But if you're sending out self-tapes, you can't reasonably expect to hear back from everyone to say you're not getting a call back and giving you a detailed analysis of your audition. That's not going to happen.
Especially if you send a VHS self-tape.
Remember those?
Oh my God.
Some people may not get that joke.
Right.
We used to get the so-called self-tapes, like physical tapes that would come by FedEx or by however other form. And then you'd have to put it in and view it and fast forward and whatever. Yeah. And it was a long process. Whereas now, it's
Fast,
everything, yeah, everything is quicker.
fast, fast. Yeah. And there's more opportunities.
Yeah. And another thing I just want to point out is we're not looking for your filmmaking abilities when we get self-tapes. Okay. What we need to see is it's got to be lit so that we see you and that we hear you. Okay. That's important. And unless they ask for something different, it's usually, like framed like me or like Hélène, that sort of frame. We want to see your face. We want to see your eyes. Okay. But it doesn't have to be any kind of elaborate lighting. I don't have any lighting in here right now. It's just daylight. And if it were nighttime, we'd probably just get the overhead light, but just make sure that it's not all shadows on your face. We need to see your eyes and we need to see your face. So facing the camera, that's what we need to see. If you want to get, fancy schmancy equipment, that's up to you, but you don't need that. And just a laptop or an iPhone. The iPhones now, they're incredible. They make movies with them. So you don't need to knock yourself out and go crazy in terms of, of the technology. The other thing too that I've seen, and don't do it, is setting up the scene as though you're shooting of the film of it. So if it's somebody behind a kitchen counter, you're behind the kitchen counter and then you turn your back and you go to the stove and you do all that kinds of stuff. Don't do that. Don't make a film. We just need to see you and what your facial expressions are, what your eyes are saying. That's what we need to see. Don't add music to it. Don't bring in somebody else. Just you. Boom, boom. Okay. And your performance.
Mhm.
And another important thing too, in any self-tape, any audition, is your reader.
Oh, yes, the reader.
Yes. So, if you're an actor, I would suspect that you have friends who are actors as well. So, uh, try to have a little community of friends that you can call on each other to to do to be a reader. So the reader should not um, be overpowering, you know, take over, should not be their big dramatic scene. So it should stay fairly neutral. It shouldn't be monotone, but it shouldn't be like, whoa, here is my acting break. So it should be, nicely paced and not too close to the camera. Like they shouldn't be louder than you. Just small things like that. Uh, I've heard some like really painful readers where I understand you don't have a reader, but I would prefer that there are apps where you
Yes,
can record
agreed.
the other lines. It's not as ideal as having an actual person with you, but the apps are better than to have somebody who has a very heavy uh, foreign accent where you can hardly understand what they're saying, or who is a total non-actor, or who's stumbling all over the words. You don't want the reader to distract from your audition, just like you don't want anything else there to distract from your audition. We should just be focusing on you and your performance, and also your garments, and not to wear things that will distract from the performance, even costume wise, and that it's
Yeah.
neutral and we can fill in the blanks ourselves. We always look for the performance. So no little bebels or tricks are going to compensate for the actual performance.
There's a comment in the chat from Ian. Hi, Ian. I'm also giving all the audience today. It's a cheat sheet of solution to get a reader. Actually, what you were saying, Rosina, that mentioned like there's We Audition for cheap price, where you can get a real actor who do not only read but helps you also with your audition. And you can also look for an AI line reader, like Ian was saying online. So Sierra, you want to put the link in the chat? You guys can take a look at that, and you have all kinds of references and services on that. So do you have it? So she'll find it, and we'll put it in. So yeah, one is called We Audition, and the other one could be an AI reader. So yes. Um,
I've had people self-taping from the most unusual places. And that's another advantage of self-taping, because now it's the way to go. So it's not a big deal, like people are not coming into the room, so it doesn't matter where they are. They can be on the other side of the world. So I've had a little boy and his family auditioning him. I think they were somewhere in Europe vacationing, and they just found a little corner of a plaza on the street, and the mother taped him with her iPhone. Okay, and he was great. And otherwise, he would never have had that audition. I've had an actor auditioning in his trailer. He was working on a series, and during his break, he went to the trailer with somebody from the film set who helped him do the audition. And, he was in costume for the other show, but you allow for that. And, or people just in their home against a blank wall. So the important thing is that we see you, we hear you, and if we believe the character, that's it. That's all we need.
That's true. I mean, what's one thing that actors obsess over in self-tapes that casting directors really don't care about? And one thing they ignore that actually matters a lot. I know you've mentioned some stuff, but if something else comes to mind. Oh, that. Sorry about that.
Yeah, a tripod or something like that is probably a good idea if you're doing a lot of, self-tapes, that the camera stays put and it's not shaking all over. And the other thing too is that it's horizontal, unless somebody specifically asks for it to be that way. Yeah,
That is key for sure.
yeah,
Horizontal, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah.
The other way, we're not doing verticals. Unless you audition for a vertical, maybe. That
Also,
could work.
looking straight into the camera, unless you're doing something that is specifically requiring that you do that. Look at the reader, who is usually somewhere next to or behind the camera. Look at them, and that'll be your eye line. I don't know. I mean, I can go on and on about things that are basic acting skills, but when you're doing the scene, when you're starting out, you need to be aware of what just happened before and where you're going from there. And you don't do it or say it in the scene, but if you know that and you behave appropriately from what just happened, we'll see that. It's not just nothing, 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 then words start to come out. We have to feel like we missed the early part, but something happened. We need to feel that in the self-tape. It's like, oh, and that we need to feel that something, you're going to something. So you need to end it with a look, with something. It end the scene as opposed to just stopping and it's like, I'm done. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Like that. Just
because reactions and silences are
yeah,
so key.
absolutely. Yeah. And don't be afraid to have those pauses where the character is thinking.
They're
Yeah.
as strong.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That what makes a really good actor is how
Yeah.
you do in between and your whole thing. We need to believe it.
Yeah.
We need to really
I'll tell you, sometimes we'll see tapes and you hear it, you hear it, you hear it, you hear it. And then somebody else's tape, somebody else's audition, and it's like, are they using the same scene? You think it's a different scene because they've just done something that makes you take notice of things you didn't take notice before. That's what your scene needs to do. And by that, I don't mean, doing something. It's the delivery. Yeah.
deliver 100% for sure. And before we go on to some questions, I would like to show you as the artist.
Oh,
So, do you want to put that on screen? Because she's an unbelievable painter, which, you can see right now. Rosina is an artist all the way to the tip of her fingers. So you can see she paints beaches, lifestyles, even self-portrait. So when is the next vernissage, Rosina? So we can go and check it out.
I'm not too sure. Maybe in the fall. And my website is being revamped. So those are some very old pieces. But yeah, I'm hoping to do something maybe in the fall or at the beginning of the new year. Yeah.
Wonderful. Would love to see. Let me know so we can share it to everybody in the community here.
Sure.
We have too many people lined up, but hey, that'd be wonderful. We got actually, guys, if you want to follow her on Instagram, you might know then. We're gonna put your link, if you don't mind, Rosina, we'll put your link
Sure.
so they
Yeah.
can follow you on Instagram. And I guess you'll advertise and you'll advertise it when it's time.
I shall do that.
Yes, that'd be great. That'd be really, really good. Is there any questions? Mark, do you still have a question? Somebody can't hear me. I don't understand why. Just Gus, everybody else can hear me, right? Guys, just go, yes. Give me some thumbs up. Yes, everybody. Cool. Excellent. Are we having fun? Isn't she wonderful? Put yes in the chat. All
I
of you.
love to hear any questions that people have because people have different concerns about their auditions or their self-tapes, and I
Absolutely.
express
Thank
them.
you. There's a lot of yes coming in. For sure, for sure. Let's see. Mark, you didn't write it down. You want to speak? Is that it? Yes. Okay. So we're going to ask you to unmute. Here we go. Go ahead.
Hello, Hélène. Hello, Rosina.
Oh,
I just wanted to make sure that I heard before the right thing, Hélène, when you were talking about that AI actress, that our eyes were not moving.
no, they were moving, but it's there's no life behind them,
Yeah,
So when you're looking at people and you look at them in the eye, if there's life, if they're thinking, if there's passion, you see it.
yeah, absolutely. I agree. Because I have an amazing quote here from Annette Bening. It's not coming from me, it's coming from Annette Bening. Acting is not about being famous, it's about exploring the human soul. Because we see everything in the eyes
Absolutely.
and I really appreciate what you were talking about before with the slating, because I coach some actors, and the way they do their slating is like if they're a robot, you're
Yeah.
being, you're presenting. It's not the character; it's who you are in a very, very simple way to create a relationship. I mean, you need to. It's your energetic signature. I'm pretty sure that if the slating is very, very done like a robot or very, very too much serious, that the casting directors won't even want to listen to the scenes, to the auditions, because it's what you're selling yourself by. Hi, my name is Mark. Just the people want to know you. That's what's very important. Well,
But we also say put it at the end. That way we've
Right.
seen your performance, at least we've seen the performance.
well, now with all my auditions that I'm auditioning, since thanks to Hélène, I have my agent Angie from Ottawa. I'm pretty sure you know Angie's from ANTI.
Yes.
I'm auditioning like crazy.
Good.
Last week it was six times. Well, four with Angie's and two with Hélène for voice dubbing. It was six auditions in the same week. So a lot of them are from Toronto. So that
That's great.
it's really, really working. So for me.
And you see now if they were only in-person auditions,
I couldn't
that would
audition.
and having to drive and go and do, whereas this way, there's no need to have to displace yourself unless you get the job.
And for the slating, they say the beginning or the end, and they always say, show your hands. Guys, do your manicure, because they're going to ask you to show your hands when you less expected, because they want to see all your hands. So that's very, very important. Women are going to do their manicure, but guys have to do them also, because you never know. It's written on the notes. So we need to go with what they tell us to do. And it's true, like when you do six auditions or like 10 in 2 or 3 weeks, I couldn't do that in person, going to Vancouver, going to Toronto, going to everywhere. And I'm auditioning for the US also. So
There you go.
Wonderful. Thank
so
you so
that's
much,
why.
Mark. Thank
Yeah.
you. Merci. I'm gonna go to Ian. Ian has a question. Do you want to come up, Ian, or would you like just me to read it? I'm gonna read it. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we can bring him in. Jan Keller. There he is. There you go. I'm gonna bring you up. There you go. You're good face, so you might as well be seen.
Okay, thank you. First of all, Rosina, I love your glasses.
Thank you.
Okay. And that's a segue to my question because I have 35 pairs that I keep from since I was a kid. The question is, do I wear glasses when I do a self-tape? Because sometimes I think it adds to the character. Not if I'm playing an older man or something, I'll do the glasses. But some people say, no, don't wear glasses. They want to see your eyes. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, can you work without glasses?
I put in contacts.
Okay, then I would do it without the glasses. And you can
Okay.
sit with the glasses so they can see you with the glasses. If they're asking for 2 takes, you could do one with, one without. But
Okay. No glasses.
yeah,
Because of the glare, sometimes we can't really see the.
glare, and because we
Yeah,
want.
it does with the lights sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends what type of lighting you have also. So this is something you can arrange.
But again, believe me, and it wouldn't be like, oh well, if only he had taken off his glasses.
No, I just had crazy professors and I put on a crazy professor glasses or an old man and I wear these old man glasses or hipster kind of glasses like
I
cool
know
glasses.
actors sometimes have glasses either with non-reflecting glass or empty, just
Yeah.
if they want to do it for a character.
Or even if it's a period piece. I have, aviation glasses from the 70s. I'll wear that, stuff like that.
All right. Thank you so much, Ian.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rosina, you're going to stay with us for the breakout rooms, right?
Sure. I'm not going anywhere. I don't have any in-person auditions to run to.
Right. I have just some announcements like to make, like the famous draw for today. Rosina is offering 30-minute consultation for a lucky winner. So stay tuned. And also, if you speak French, later at 5 p.m. today, we're talking about that it's never too late to get in the game. So if you miss the show today or tonight, it'll be available probably on Friday afterwards, just like this show. So you can always watch the last episodes on YouTube that you missed on our YouTube channel, which is called Casting Vlog, and it's Showbiz Connect. It's called the same thing. We're going to put it in the chat right away. Secondly, we have a photo shoot next Saturday. If you need a new headshot with photographer Paul McIntyre, I'm going to show it to you. It's only $200, and if you had $50, you get a makeup artist, and that's an amazing deal. So you can jump on it. You can click on the link as well that we're going to put in the chat to get the info. And don't worry, the whole chat will be available for about 10 minutes at the end completely, and you will be able to take all of the info for that. And I'm also giving you a link for a self-tape kit that can bring up your game with light, tripod for your camera, and even backgrounds for your smooth auditions. So we're going to add that in the chat as well. Yeah, you get the tripod and all that stuff. Oh, and there's one more that I found. I thought it was very cool. It's like a new thing. Some of you saw it. It's a tripod with movement tracking for those special scenes that you're walking around and the camera actually follows you. It just turns around and follows you just like in the film. It is something special scenes you need to do. Well, we're going to put the link in the chat right now as well. You can take a look. You have an A-face tracking tripod for your phone, a selfie stick. We have 2 lights attached as well. I think we have a picture of that here. I don't want to put it up on screen. I thought it was pretty cool. There, yeah. You have like those 2 lights, the thing, and then it turns around and it shows you. So this is something that might be of interest. You have a remote control also for those times when you're traveling also, and if you want to film yourself on the beach or traveling, I don't know. It's something easy that you can put in your bag and do your audition, your self-tape, wherever you are. So there you go. Also, if you'd like to do background work, make sure you register in our database through our website, totocasting.ca, and you click on registration. So it doubles your chance of being found during our special searches. And the link is in the chat. Yeah, great. You're fast, Sierra. Cool. Nice job. And lastly, we got amazing merchandise that we put together. I just wanted to motivate you. So I've got this great little clapboard, and we're going to put the link in the chat. Actually, this clapboard is going to be drawn at 5 o'clock tonight. And you can find little merch to motivate you. So we just put it there for you because it's something that you'd like to have. A huge thank you for Rosina and her generosity for being here today. It was absolutely wonderful. I want to tell you that the Showbiz Connect is happening once a month, every second Wednesday, with the same link. And you can also watch the amazing last episodes you missed on my YouTube channel, Casting Vlog, or you just have to type Showbiz Connect. So, and you can watch it also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify in your car. There's also the audio. Follow us on Showbiz Connect on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn for more news. Keep the buzz, my showbiz, and share the link of Showbiz Connect for others to profit from the knowledge. And don't forget, you will be able to copy the chat, all of that. Thank you again, Rosina, for your time, and everybody to be there. Stay cool, stay professional, and we're going to be back next month on Showbiz Connect. Ciao. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.
When you're dreaming of the screen or the stage.